We'll just go ahead and do this right now before we start, because I know you guys have got to go to the rec center, correct? This is the way I like this office to be at board meetings. We try to do it as small and cozy, and this is an awesome thing to recognize. We've got a state champion. I'm just going to let Miss Austin and Miss Webb introduce everybody, because I'll mess it up. Miss Webb, you start with your teams and what they've accomplished. And
well, here on the far end in the blue shirt is our elementary team with Coach Miss Plaxico. That's made up of 4th and 5th graders. They were the district and regional Governor's Cup champions this year. They won both overall team championships. How many years in a row is that? 6. So awesome accomplishment. They won quick recall championships at the district and regional level and had several students place in the top 5 in all tested areas at district and at regional as well. So a huge accomplishment for them.
District and regional.
Yeah, district. I was getting to that.
With the elementary.
And our elementary FPS were the district and regional champions as well. 6th grade academic team. Miss Tiller back there. a few came. We had a lot of competition with events tonight. Our 6th grade academic team did 6th grade showcase in December, and they were the 6th grade showcase regional champions as well. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 years in a row, Miss Tiller? 4, sorry.
4 with me, I think 2 prior to that,
Yeah,
right? Isn't that right? So I think 6 in a row.
So they're working on 6 as well. Over here we have Miss Creech and Miss Coleman with our junior FPS team. These ladies here in the khaki shirts. They were the state champions this year in future problem solving. They'll be competing in international. And our junior FPS team have been state champions 2 of the last 3 years.
Only because they didn't know what
We also have Miss Braylee Howard, who's part of the junior team. She was the state runner-up in scenario writing at the junior level.
Which one's this?
Raise your hand, Braylee. And so she advanced to it. That's awesome. So we're very proud of our
waiting on
junior.
individual results next week.
So I'll bring more good news tonight. Very proud of our 6th grade, our elementary, and our junior teams. Our coaches and our students work very hard. This is just a fraction of the kids that participated. We had 30-some on the elementary team. We had, what, a dozen or more, Miss Tiller,
Yes.
6th grade?
Yes.
And same with FPS. Just very, very large amount of support at the elementary level. And I'm proud to be their principal.
Could you introduce them?
Absolutely. How about I let them introduce themselves and tell you who their parents are? So we're going to start right here.
Oh, Lord. Riley, you start her.
I'm Braylee Howard, and my son is Susie Howard in Stockholm. I'm Kayla Woods, and my parents are over there. My mom is Brianna Woods, and my dad is Jeff Woods. I'm Lexi Souther, and over there is mom and dad, Leah and Scott Souther.
Okay, I'm Lana Eastep, and my parents are right behind me. Their names Connie Eastep and Steve Eastep. You want to do elementary? Okay, James.
My name is Jaden Perry, and my mom is back there. Her name is Ashley. I'm Daniel Snyder, and my parents are Josh and Lacey Snyder.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself too?
My name is Luke Snyder, and my parents are also Joshua.
Come up here.
Hello.
Yeah.
My name is Colum Short, and my mom is over there, Kendra Short.
What's your dad's name?
Mom Short.
I might not be here, but you can still talk. Okay, here's him. We've got some 6th graders mixed in here too.
My name is Shane Blair, and my parents are over there, and their names are Heather Robinson and Bill Robinson.
Oh, no. Come on, Ryan. You can do it. We have faith.
No.
This is our sign.
No.
Okay.
I'm Orion Merchant of Joe's neighbor, and my parents,
What's their name?
it's Jason and Catherine Merchant, whatever.
Okay.
Give me a bell.
This
This is good for you guys.
My name's Bella Ward, and my nana's back there. Her name's Pam Ward, and it's my brother. My mom's name's Yuki Ward, and my dad's name's Gary Ward.
Anna. Oh, we've got another brother and sister. Well, siblings, not brothers and sisters.
My name's Annalise Carey, and my mom's back there, and her name's Ashley Carey.
Is that all the elementary? Fair.
And then
And
Ashley.
Allie. Okay.
Allie's trying to hide.
Hi, I'm Farrah Gamble. My mom's back there, Jessica Gamble, with my sister Jacqueline Gamble. And that's the real tall man back there. That's Greg Gamble.
I'm Allison Mayer, and my dad is Jason, and my mom's Carol.
Is that all the elementary?
Miss Austin, high school middle school.
All right, I'm next to our middle school coach, Miss Cindy Tackett, and these are two of our 4 students that made it to Governor's Cup. Mr. Brett Gibson, he went for science, and Miss Grace Blackburn for written composition. We also had Ann Patel for math, and Tyler Rockabot for arts and humanities. So those 4 students got to go to state, and then over here with Miss McNew, she's with our state runner-up CMPS team. They actually just found out, last Tuesday, that we actually got a bid to go to internationals. They didn't announce that when we were at state, so we just found out that not only were they the runners-up, but we get to go to internationals as well. Their project was, Matt, say it so that we get the term right, because they mispronounced it down there.
It's pronounced Appalachia,
Not
not Appalachia.
Yeah, they mispronounced it when they were on the stage, and it was
Yeah.
the whole point of the
Yeah.
project.
That's great.
Ms. McMahon, would you like to talk about their project? We also had our FPS team, they're not here, that was Bryce Allen, Taylor Stumbo, Eva Lindowski, Rebecca, I was like, I'm not missing everybody, they're not here.
And Taylor did comp.
And Taylor was also written comp, so they couldn't make it tonight, just different conflicts. Do you want to talk about what their project, their CMPS project, or what?
I'll let them talk about it.
That's your done talk.
Okay, don't have to give me a spotlight. So basically, our project was revitalizing Appalachian culture in Eastern Kentucky. A couple months ago, we had an Appalachian exhibition fair over at the elementary school where they learned about Appalachian foods, crafts, homemaking, music, and storytelling. We've also created several videos online. We've made a database. We have Facebook. You can like us, follow us on Instagram. That's pretty much the gist of it. Sorry.
It was really impressive. It was really good. It really was. Is that everybody?
Yep, those were the ones that.
We're totally Appalachian.
I think we need to
Yeah.
continue.
I agree.
They didn't introduce these kids, did they?
Oh, no, they didn't?
We did.
They didn't?
No.
Sorry.
Miss Susan was hoping she got out of that. I saw her.
Yeah, Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah Isley. My dad is Jackie Isley. My mom is Johnny Isley.
My name's Lucy Jones. My dad is Dr. James Jones, and my mom is Angela Ward.
I'm Hallie Coleman. My parents are John and Melissa Coleman.
My name is Madison Webb, and that's my mom. So my dad is John Webb. Figured everybody so.
I am Matt Taggett, and my parents are Chris and Connie Taggett.
Did everybody introduce, did you two introduce yourselves?
I'm Brett Gibson, and my mom is Annie Gibson, and my dad is David.
I had to get that in there.
Good thing he takes after his mom, right? He don't want about making kids.
No, Grace?
My name is Grace Blackburn. My mom's Amanda Blackburn. My dad's Jeremy.
One thing we're going to do that's a little bit different, I think we've done in the past, is we're going to have banners hung with your names on them, just like we would if it's football, if it's baseball, basketball, or something like that. So we'll try to get those completed and put up, and we'll make sure we get everybody to have their names spelled right.
Yes.
Very impressed. Got a good group of kids here, a good group of teachers. They do a great job with it. I put them up against anybody. Good job. No, know most of you, if not all of you, are heading up the road. So go up there and represent us well. Thank you for a job. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, she could have done.
I'll miss that day.
I can see that.
I don't think these girls were as athletic as Brittany.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big body. Yeah. Big crowd. Everybody says we're having a pastor. I kind of like them in here in this little tight area. We get much bigger than that, we have to.
We have different places.
We got a lot of publicity in the paper about the first place.
Yeah.
Nothing about second place.
Well,
We'll work on
we
that.
need to work on that. Which is going to tie into some stuff we're going to talk about a little later. We're ready to get started whenever you are, Mr. Farmer.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order, and we've already had the recognition, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the prior minutes.
So moved.
Second. Any questions? All in favor? Communication to the board.
We'll start with video. Mr. Rapp.
Just a couple, let me throw some dates out, just a few things we have going on. Testing is getting very, very close. We know once we get back from spring break, it kind of catapults us into action. We've already had the ACT at the high school. We took that back in March. I think, are you gonna have,
Yeah, I'll talk
y'all
to
gonna
them.
speak later,
Yeah.
they'll speak later to you about those scores. Kids did well. Kids did well. We have one makeup to go, and that's this month. The one makeup we have is this month. So, but kids did well. As we were getting ready for K-Prep, we have to go through test training. I'll be training all the teachers and the staff the next 2 days, the 9th and the 10th. Administration code training, and Mr. Baker, he will be administering the inclusion of special populations training. Another thing we have going on in the month of April 16th and 17th, there's going to be a 10th grade field test this year. It's a 10th grade. In the past, it was an end of course assessment. This year, they're just calling it a 10th grade field test. It's for 10th graders only. It's going to be in reading and math. So it's a field test this year. We won't get any results back, no information back on that, but we've decided to test those kids the 16th and the 17th. And that'll be all online. And we kind of talked about this last time. I really look for all the testing that we have within the next 3 or 4 years to go 100% online. So I think it's a testament that we are kind of stocking up in our coffers with computers, because all these kids are going to be tested.
How would you prevent people from cheating online?
They have, I can't remember exactly, I need Joe to explain this, but whenever you log into the program, the one they use is called TestNav. It's a platform. Whenever you log into that platform, you can't log back out of it to go into your browsers. It's like Google, now obviously if you have your cell phone, you
Yeah, 2 computers, yeah.
you had 2 computers, but only on one computer you can't get out of that platform. Once you're logged in, you couldn't get out to go check an answer and then come back and log back in. So I think it's called in kiosk mode.
Yeah.
I got it. That was a technological
Good.
term. I'm impressed with myself.
That's a good one there.
It was. So that's April 16th and 17th, and then K-Prep will be May 7th through the 13th. That's a Tuesday through a Monday. So our K-Prep testing, grades 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 11. Those kids will be test May 7th through the 13th. And then the whole month of May, our high school will be taking AP tests. So once May rolls around, we're testing nonstop. So, but those are just some of the dates that I have.
Thank you, Mr. Ratliff. Mr. Smith?
Does everyone get the cash flow projection? On the second page, I went back and did our proprietary funds, our food service. Kind of go back from July moving forward. You'll see that most of the time, we've always had more expenses than revenue in food service. And this month, we actually brought in $45,000, only spent $39,000. But we kind of had to go after some of this debt that student has on their balances. We've got quite a bit. We had about $24,000 that's owed to us, and we collected about $6 this past month. So we're trying to do our best here at both schools to try to get some of that debt paid off.
That's what we collected in a while, isn't it? Good job.
He won't brag on himself, but I will. We started the year with a little over $20,000 in debt. 2 programs we've implemented. One of them is just debt collection. We've gained, like he said, about $6,000. As of last month, our food service departments in both buildings have been serving snack during the day to offset some of that debt, and we've gained a little over $5,000 in that alone. So in a little bit less than a year, we have collected almost $12,000 towards that $20,000 debt. And we're still going after debt collection, things of that nature. Parents have come in setting up payments. We're sending letters out monthly. So between the combination of the two, we foresee that within maybe the next year or so, we could be in black.
That's what we're trying to do. We're working with the principals, and they're coming up with some ideas about, maybe during Jump Start, some of these other things, advertising to our parents about using the My School Bucks, where they get on there and check the balance, make payments, and check and see how things are going.
So I have to commend Mr. Schmidt and Mr. Donnelly and the 2 principals in particular. They've had some conversations with parents. It's a big thing to get that much debt picked up in less than a year. So we're very pleased with that effort. Anything else, Joe?
Have you had any estimates of June 30th going to do to us this year?
I'm glad you asked. I asked the same thing today.
Within $50,000, so
within $50,000?
You ought to be able to do that, shouldn't you?
Well,
Burr if you want to be Mr. Penny on Burr.
He started to sound like a girl there.
Well, it depends. I'm hoping we
Camera's on, Joe.
I think we're going to be, I'm hoping we exceed what, I'm hoping we'll be right at or exceed what we had last year.
Last year we came in about 100,000 goods, right?
I think we came, no, wait, subtracting out your bus came 6,000.
Okay.
But, I'm shooting above the contingency. I'm trying to get us to right what we are, or I like to see us grow. And I definitely think that once we got our plan in place, as things start working out, we'll definitely be able to grow.
You estimate positive anyway for June 30th. See, we went about 5 or 6 years negative.
We did. I noticed that when
that's why we asked that question.
The good thing, the way to say that, Joe, is we're healthy.
We're healthy, yeah.
We're healthy.
And one thing, Joe, when he said that, that's what I noticed too. And I went back and looked at a lot of our past AFRs, and I've noticed that we kept going down and going down and going down and going down. So I'm hoping that with the plan that we got in place, that we need to start going back up and get us to a better situation, close to what we were at one time.
The last 2 years we've been up.
Right, 3 years. It'd be 3 years.
Not a lot, but 3 years. This will be 3 years.
Yeah.
And right, I think the way that we, obviously, I know in this situation we got, some things kind of happening. We have to, we're incurring some of the expenses. Right. The only thing I know that we can do is when people retire, if we're not replace that position. I know we talked about some things coming up here that we can try to save money and not putting back and when people retire.
Ask that question when we lose 5, 6 years in a row. Well, we're not losing as much as everybody else. No, we're still losing.
Yeah. There's no way you're losing. It doesn't matter if you're losing. Everyone else is losing. You're still losing.
It makes you feel any better. You got more out of him than I did this morning. So there you go.
Yeah, I didn't want to sit there because I do that every month. I run the year to date and I start subtracting out, and just, I look at it where if we don't get any more revenue, where we're gonna stand at. And
What revenue we have coming, telephone and?
we got, you got your franchise tax, utility tax, I'm sorry, you got your franchise tax still coming in.
Franchise tax being?
That'll be our,
City.
yeah, that'll be our,
Businesses, restaurants.
business,
things
yes,
like that.
restaurants. We've not, what, Robin, we checked on that, because I started getting a little worried about that.
What do we get from the businesses?
I can tell you about what we budget for it, whether or not we get all of it or not.
I said, what do we get?
What do you have budgeted?
We have budgeted about 100,000.
Not amount, I mean, how's it, the flow? I know it don't come from the 3%. Where does it come from the businesses?
Robin, did Kim say anything when?
No, she just said that it comes into Sally and then Sally cuts us a check. And I'm assuming it's like the restaurant tax.
Yeah.
We get so much of that and I don't know.
Percentage of what they're
What
That restaurant tax shouldn't go into Sally though. Sally don't have anything to do with that.
No.
Maybe on cars and stuff.
We're still getting that from Sally, the car.
As long as we get a check, I don't hook them.
What it is.
Right, and that will change, and that's what worried me a little bit too, not to get, but is when you look at your revenue stream and when you budget that kind of amount for your PSC, and you only got $489, you're kind of thinking this is going to really be a game changer for us if we're not getting, but not, we checked, and about this time of month, April, May, is when you start getting that money, because we've got a little bit of property tax in, and that's going to be the next big revenue source there, on top of course, our SEEK and our utility tax.
It's called a franchise tax. We don't know what it is. We just know we get the check.
Yes, we hope we're still getting the checks.
We'll take the check, deposit it.
Before we get to Miss Webb and Miss Austin, I got an introduction to make tonight. Mr. Paul Baker, if you don't care, stand up. Mr. Baker is our new special ed director, Paintsville Independent. He comes via Martin County Schools, via Nicholas County High School. Very glad to have him on board. He's come in today, got a lot of work done today, got his feet under him a little bit. Mr. Baker, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ms. Webb?
Just a couple items. One, they took care of earlier our junior FPS team was state champions this year, and Bradley Howard was runner-up in scenario writing. We have started kindergarten registration. We started that today. We have kindergarten preview night. If you know of any prospective kindergartners, that will be Tuesday, April the 23rd at 6 o'clock, and we'll be advertising that. We are in the midst of MAT testing. We've had some grades that have already completed it prior to spring break. The rest of the grades will take that. They'll start later this week or do it next week, and we'll finish up. And that's all I have.
Are you in district tomorrow?
I'll
Or is it
be here
Wednesday?
Tomorrow. I won't be here on Wednesday.
If you care, stop by tomorrow and talk about some of your budget stuff that you
Okay.
got this evening. Miss Austin and Miss Dr. McCarty. I'm combining my report with theirs. We've got some exciting stuff here, and it's something I've been working on since I've been here, and it's coming to fruition as we speak. So what we've decided to do is I've talked to Dr. McCarty and Miss Austin since she became our new high school principal about presenting what our vision for Paintsville High School is going to look like. So they put in a lot of hours working on this behind the scenes, and this is a small glimpse into that. And we'll start with that. I'll go ahead and we'll tie. So it's all three of us together, so just bear with us a little bit. Our mission statement is in search of excellence. So one of the things that Paintsville Independent High School is really known for is our pre-college pathways, putting kids in college, 100% college acceptance rates, things of that nature. But the world around us is changing. No longer is going to college a guaranteed job, let alone a high-paying job. So one of the things that the state of Kentucky, in redefining the graduation requirements for the state and what a high school diploma actually means, is we're looking at industry certification, work-ready communities, things of that nature. So as Paintsville Independent, we are a little bit at a disadvantage of that, as most independent schools are, is that we don't have a career and technical center. So we have to reach out and build partnerships. And that's something that we've been doing ever since I've been here. We've got a great partnership with Big Sandy, Career and Technical School. They've also got a budding partnership with Morehead State on some things, and we're trying to reach out to other entities. In order to do some of this work, though, we had to have some groundwork put in place. Last summer, before school started back, and we talked about this, and you all have seen this before, we came together as a coalition. I know Mr. Fuller and Mr. Hayesdet were available and came to those meetings to develop a new vision and mission statement for Paintsville Independent Schools. So the foundation of this is at the bottom, our guiding principles. What are we? Who are we? All decisions will be student driven. We provide a safe, nurturing environment. We provide a culture of values and respect. We believe stakeholder involvement is critical to the learning experience. We believe in being financially responsible to all of our students. We will work together to achieve our goals for all students. That's our core beliefs. I think the first one in that is the most important. All decisions will be student driven. What are our core values? We've got a rich history here. We want to continue that history. So we've been enriching student lives for over 125 years. So enrichment is important to us. Quality, we focus on providing the best for each generation. Loyalty, a strong feeling of support, allegiance with the classmates, alumni, faculty, staff, and administration. And tradition, a rich history of lifelong learning and success. When we developed this, we had a team of people together. A couple board members, I think Mr. Ratliff was there, I know Ms. Webb was. So we came together to lay down what we want to look like. We decided to look at 4 pillars of our school system. One is pillar 1 is leadership and accountability. Pillar 2 is teaching and learning. Pillar 3 is operations and support systems. Pillar 4 is culture, communication, and community. You can't move forward, though, with any of this stuff if you don't have a clearly defined mission statement. The mission statement is to continue building on a tradition of excellence that produces lifelong learners who will be globally competent. And at the end of the day, we're always going to be in search of excellence. Now, excellence looks different for different socioeconomic groups, different student populations, but every kid that we have to push them towards excellence. So what we're asking of our high school is to redefine what that excellence looks like at Paintsville High School. I'm going to let Dr. McCarty, I'm going to go back to this one here. And you can, it's not her fault, I moved this around a little bit, so if it's all messed up, Dr. McCarty, I'll let you talk about the future of Paintsville High School, or Tiffany, or whoever. Okay.
All right. The future of the high school, for me, this is a big deal because one of the questions I was asked why do you want to be the principal? This is my school, so I feel very passionate about this school system, and I want to see us continue to grow in the future. That's continuing our traditions of excellence. So we've always been great, but that bar can always go higher. So we want to keep moving forward. We want to be continue our strong pre-college pathways. We've always been kind of known for having a lot of students make it to college and succeed, but again, our culture is changing, so we're going to continue that pathway, but we're also going to be looking at some new industry pathways. This year we have 40 CNA students. Mm-hmm. 40 students that are going to have their CNA certificate at the end of the year. So we're trying to move towards having these students not just college ready, but they need to be ready for their career. Develop entrepreneurial academy, develop our Appalachian Graphic Design Fellowship, changing the perspective of students as well as parents in the community, that just because you're not going to college doesn't mean you're not successful. Again, not everyone is college bound. Some of these students are going to go right into a career when they graduate, so we've got to change the perspectives of everyone. This will also impact our economic development within our area, because we need to build people that are going to be going into our workforce in the future, building our job force and creating hope. You know, sometimes in our area, people think there's no hope, there's nothing here. So our goal is to build that up and make our area see that, you know, these students are going out there and they're going to make our area successful. They don't have to leave, they can work right here where we're at.
One of the things that, and there's links to all this, and I'll email these to you so you can look at this on your own time, but one of the things that I've been working on since last summer is a position paper from KVEC called The Way Forward. And it looks at economic trends and economic problems that we have in the area. So what we're trying to do here is exactly what each school system, each community needs to be doing. Instead of waiting for someone else to come and give us a helping hand, we need to take the bull by the horns and do it ourselves. Moving towards personalized learning, so.
Yeah, so the ultimate goal here is to make sure that we create a personalized system of learning for each individual student. Because we all know that we all learn differently, we all learn at different speeds, and we all have different needs, and we all have different outcomes and goals that we're trying to accomplish. So having this wonderful school system, this small community, this family environment is amazing. It's an amazing experience for our children to go through. But because we're so small, sometimes we're a little more limited in the number of opportunities that we can provide for our students. So through the creation of what we're going to talk about in the following slides, we think we have found a way that we can meet the needs of the learners and all of the different opportunities that they can be exposed to while keeping our same traditions and family environment alive. So we're going to look at creating personalized learning pathways, and we are making a conscious effort to move towards a student-centered curriculum. And what that means is it's not cut and dry the same curriculum for each student, because again, each student has different needs, they have different career goals, so we want to meet the needs of them to make sure that they become successful contributors to our society. And we're going to provide time each day for differentiated, equitable learning opportunities for all of our students. So, the plan for how we're going to do this is, first we're going to implement a program called Electives. This is a research-based, fully accredited, computer-based curriculum that we will use in addition to the daily instruction that our students are receiving in the classroom. And in just a second, you're going to understand how significant this implementation is going to be for our students and the opportunities it's going to create for them. But you can see there just some of the information about the research, and on the next slide it's going to show you it's fully accredited, it's completely recognized, there's advanced AP, the AP College Board approves the classes, it's fully accredited by the Western Accreditation of Schools, which is the same as SACS accreditation. You may be more familiar with that because it's the accreditation system in our part of the country, but because the program is based in Kansas City, they use the Midwest, the Western Association, so that's why the accreditation sounds different, but it's the same thing just for their part of the country. And the NCAA also approves the courses for students looking to do athletic things as well. So this is where it really reflects the importance for our students. If you look on the left, you can see that the current classes offered for our students, and then on the right it shows you the juxtaposition for the potential for our students. So currently we offer 49 classes for our students. With the implementation of this Electives program, they will have access to 76 different classes. We offer 8 advanced placement classes, and that is not on the same year. Several of those classes we have to alternate years with. So we're not necessarily offering 8 AP classes at a time, but we do have teachers who can teach 8 classes. With the implementation of the program, we will have 14 classes offered consecutively every year. We have 17 regular electives for our students to take. This program will increase that to 34 electives for the students.
Some of the electives that we're talking about are plumbing, electricity, computer programming, things of that nature that can become industry certified. And we can also partner with Big Sandy, say for instance in the electricity classes, they can take the work class at the school level and then go down and do the work studies and stuff at Big Sandy.
The curriculum challenge that we have with partnering with Big Sandy and the vocational program in particular is scheduling. Their courses are taught, for example, Tuesday, Thursday from 10 a.m. to noon. So if our students wanted to go take the courses there on Tuesday, Thursday, we have nothing and the way it is currently, we have nothing available for our students to do on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to noon. So we're really in a box as far as how we can meet their needs because we can't provide, and the college system isn't going to be able to adjust to change for us. We tried to work out different things, the reliability issues. We just couldn't make it work until we discovered this. So with the implementation of this and the long-term projection and the goal of what we're thinking that Ms. Austin's going to talk about in a minute, they can do both because they can go down there and take the classes on the college schedule. And this isn't just for plumbing and electricity. It would be any college class as well. So they're wide open to take whatever they choose to take, whatever they want to take. They can do cosmetology, they can do anatomy, they can do anything that they want. They are on the college schedule. So when they come back to us at the high school, we will make their schedule personalized. So that may be the time when they log on to Acellus, and on those other 3 days a week, they will complete whatever other class they are enrolled in. Now, it could very well be a plumbing class that complements the one that they're taking there, or it may be accounting. It may be something that they've chosen in addition to pick up extra skills.
One of the things that we have to embrace, she mentioned earlier that sometimes our smallness is a detriment to us, but in this circumstance, our smallness is a strength. Because we are so small, we can have that fluidity in class structure with kids moving back and forth between different bell schedules, different class schedules, different structures that really is personalized specifically for those kids. Also, because the world of college is changing so rapidly to an online venue, we are now preparing our kids to go from high school to college, to take those classes. We've got a couple of athletes that are now in college that are staying here during the semester that are taking all online courses this semester. So that's preparing them more for that college curriculum that they're going to be involved in. And with Acellus, they will also have a teacher. A teacher will be teaching the course. It's not going to be they're sitting there having to do it on their own. So they will have that teacher in front of them teaching the course itself.
Question, Mr. McCarty? So, let me get this, you're going to take plumbing at Mayo.
Okay.
It's going to be Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
So I'm going to work and have classroom settings Tuesday and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to take a course on computer, say accounting or something else, and I'll take it through this, and that way it'll fill in.
Yes, the extra time. And so they're still going to get their minimum high school credits required to graduate. Yes. But it would just be a different schedule. And that may be what you choose to do, and then maybe Miss Austin, if she was taking classes, she may be going down there and taking anatomy on Monday, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. to 10:30, and then she comes back to the high school on those other days, and she may take advanced placement Spanish.
And one of the things to note, we've got this into a 1, 3, and 5-year implementation phase. We're not going to have everything worked out immediately, but we are moving pretty fast. And by having the nurse assistant program, which is the CNA program, already implemented, already in place, we're a little bit ahead of the game on what we want to get to. So some of this will be implemented in year 1, some of it we've already got in place, some of it will be year 2, some of it will be year 3. Ms. Austin?
Another part of our implementation is next year we are wanting to move to a schedule where during our 4th period block, we have what we're going to call Tiger Time. So it's teaching individual growth and educational readiness skills, because part of what the state is pushing for is for us to build these work ethic skills with our students. So during this time, we'll have them broken up into their grade levels, 7th, 8th, and so on, to where they can work on, I think it's on the next slide. So every grade level, we're hoping to include we want a community service project. So teaching our students about service learning, that they develop a project, and each year it would change. And this will help with any kind of applications. It'll show their volunteer hours that they volunteered through various programs. Leadership, skill development, and a book study. I think the one we had picked for the 9th or 8th grade was the 7 Habits of a Highly Successful Teenager, because they're getting ready to go into high school. So we're trying to develop those skills for when they go to high school. They're prepared, they know what kind of habits they need to start developing. This time we could also use for our RTI, tutoring, enrichment. They need makeup work, math testing, their individual learning plan completions, team activities, as well as personalized ACT instruction. So this will be kind of a fluid time where the students can be pulled and go to various areas that they're needed. So, for example, say I'm struggling in math, I could go to a math teacher during this time for some individualized instruction, whereas if we're in the same grade, she could go for an enrichment activity or to work on some leadership skills.
Which is an RTI plan. RTI sometimes is a response to intervention. We think of that as a special needs program. But our upper level kids, our high performers need enrichment as well. So we're building a fully fledged enrichment RTI program built around our schedule. This year we had all of our seniors taking Serve and Learn. Serve and Learn is our seniors go out, they mentor, they get soft skills, all these things that they need to go out into the world and succeed. Next year we're taking it a step further. We're dropping it down, trying to hit a little bit in every grade going forward, which brings us up to each grade.
So, our 7th grade, they would do all the other activities, but working on time management, that's something we've noticed that when they're from 6th grade coming up to 7th, they get a little bit of almost like a freedom where they don't have to walk in a line everywhere, but then they don't know how to manage their time. So we were going to work on time management skills, start developing career interests, looking to their future, study skills, completing a note to self in the future. So as 7th graders, they would write a note to themselves, and then at their senior breakfast, they would get that note to where they can see what their thoughts were. You know, maybe as a 7th grader, you wanted to be a veterinarian, and then by the time you're a senior, you've realized that's not the career path you want, so that they can see a change in themselves. And then, again, starting to look at that personalized ACT instruction. For our 8th grade, so they would have had the previous year working on stress management, because high school gets a little bit more stressful. Continuing to research careers. Again, we're going to change from what we thought we wanted to be as a 7th grader to an 8th grader. Test taking strategies, continuing with the ACT instruction. 9th grade students, so they're starting high school, we really want to hit the digital footprint. Speaking to these students about the importance of what they put on their social media and how that is permanent. And colleges do look back. I'm sure you all read several articles where basketball players have a scholarship taken away because they've researched their social media. So we really want to hit with these kids that is a big impact. Start building their resume. The importance of a GPA, because now your grade point average is permanent and it's going to build every year, as well as making sure they're meeting their graduation requirements. Our 10th grade would be financial literacy, because now they're starting to get to about 15, 16 years old, where they need to know how to spend their money, or they're starting their first jobs. College preparation, so those that are wanting to go to college, starting to look at what it takes to apply, fees, types of degrees, working on interview skills, because they'll be, is it Roger? Which one's 10?
Roger Explorer.
I couldn't remember if it's Explorer or Scholar.
Yeah.
So they're going to have interviews coming up. 11th grade was where, like this year, we really hit hard with ACT, and we've tried to make it more personalized. The kids were flowing in and out of 4 classes based on their needs. So if they needed more math instruction, they were going to Mr. Davis, or if they needed more English instruction, they went to Miss Martin. College and career planning. And then 12th grade, which is what Miss Ratliff started this year, and it was kind of our inspiration to work from the top down. This was our Serve and Learn program. So this year our students have had college, vocational, and military representatives come and visit and speak to them on Fridays. They've worked on financial aid, the application process, different post-secondary transition planning. My favorite is their basic adulting skills. They are learning about banking, credit cards, taxes, tying a tie, changing a tire, anything, you know, that we feel like they might have missed. At laundry, I think they're even going to learn before prom ballroom dancing. They're going to go to a painting course, so just different skills that they've started this year, so we're going to definitely keep continuing next year. And the biggest has been job shadowing. These students go out Monday through Thursday and they job shadow, and then on Fridays are when they come back and they get to do all the other activities.
And you'd be amazed at some of the things that we take for granted that our kids don't. Changing a fuse in a vehicle is something my son didn't know how to do till this weekend. So, well, but he knows now. So these are the types of things that this program has really put in place for our kids this year. Go ahead.
Is this fluid enough that they can take some of these things earlier than, say, the 9th grade? They can take it in 8th? Because a lot of those things Now, your better students might want to do them early.
Well, and that's the whole point, and we want to get to that point, and
Okay.
that's where the evolution of this. We really think that we can open this up into a broader spectrum. We really don't know what the end result's going to be here, other than we know it's going to be good for kids. And we think we're going to, it's kind of like a tip of the iceberg type of deal. One of the things that we did this year with Miss Tackett, who's our gifted talent, we actually had a student-run bank at the middle school this year. So kids would deposit their money into the bank and draw interest, and at the end of the year, they're taking a trip using that money to pay for it. So we're doing some of these things. One of our issues is we're not publicizing it enough, which is something we've been talking about and working about, which leads us into our 2 to 4 year goals. Full implementation of a student academic center, student-driven business ventures, mentioned the school bank. We will have a full online store next year. We have the capacity to do that now, but it's just growing. We've got an old bus that I really didn't know existed until a couple weeks ago. It's one of the little small van type buses. Mr. Miller was wanting to surplus that, and we believe that it would serve us well to turn that into a food truck for our kids to use during fourth period. For us to go into 6th grade. Right now, we bus kids from the community to our schools to feed. We might get 6 to 10 kids on a good day. With this, we would have the ability to go to the kids and feed them off the bus, which would increase our revenue inside of our food service program. So we probably wouldn't get $500 out of the bus. This would turn that around in a matter of weeks. Partial implementation of the flexible scheduling that Dr. McCarty was talking about. One of the things that we constantly hear, but we never see much action on, is the STEM curriculum. If you do a search, a word cloud on what STEM is, science, technology, engineering, and math, these are the words that will pop up. We don't have the capacity right now or the space to do something like this. And we've been talking several months about expanding our footprint with our facilities. We have a unique opportunity that we're investigating where we have the potential to actually do a student academic center, in this case, the Paintsville Independent Academic Center. It's project-based learning, work and career ready certifications, expanding technical and trade opportunities, increasing dual credit programs, which would also create a true STEM pathway for all of our students. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. We could take that then and roll in our serve and learn program. We can also build into that the remote work capacity where kids can actually do their work from their desktop and be paid and be able to live in the area that they love the best, which is home, which is where we are. This is something that, as you know, as a board, we've been talking about for several months. We're on the doorstep of making this a reality, which leads us to our 5 year goals. We want to continue our college acceptance legacy. We don't want to lay down on that, but we also want to incorporate that work-ready excellence. We want to have kids leave here and be able to be a sustainable part of our community, a sustainable part of the tax base, a sustainable part of our area. Full implementation of the flexible scheduling. We envision at some point in the future, kids being fluid in taking classes and really, and Mr. Fuller, you'll understand this better than most, more like a college experience where you have an advisor that you check in with. Implementation of standards-based grading, especially in our math programs. And at some point, we want to look back and say this is the first step of us becoming an entrepreneurial academy, where our kids are going out and they're becoming contributors to the economy while they're in high school. We have the capacity to do that, and this is what our plan, what we've been working for. This is something I've been working for since I've been here. The last couple of months, obviously, we put a lot of work into this and a lot of conversation pieces, and we think we've got a good plan. Is it perfect? By no means. But we have to modify and adjust going forward? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if you go back to our core beliefs, who we are, everything we're doing here is about kids. It's about making the student's life better. That's anything else you want to add to this? You guys got any questions about what we've talked about here? It's a pretty profound step for us. But I think it's an appropriate step, and you can't get to where you want to go unless you take that first step. So any questions? And I'll share this with you so you can go through it and check the links out and stuff like that. Ms. Austin, anything? Dr. McCarty, anything you want to add to this?
Good job. Appreciate it.
Okay. That's all we got. Thank you very much.
Okay, on the personnel reports.
What do we have there? Mr. Baker, is hired. Did we have Tiffany on the last month? Personnel report?
I don't think we, no, not as,
Miss Baker will be on there at some point. I think she's taking the job, so congratulations, or not Miss Baker, Miss Austin. Miss Austin.
She getting?
Paul was sitting over here, his checkbook was getting bigger all of a sudden. Miss Austin's a new high school principal. We're very proud of it. And I want to say something about that. I don't think we've done a good job publicizing this, so Miss Austin, you will bear with me for a second. We've got a rich history here at Paintsville High School, 126 years. I know Mr. Ratliff's got 2 daughters. I know Matt's got 2. Joel's got 1. So those of you that are parents of daughters, take special notice of this. This is the first time in our school history that we know of that our high school is being led by a female. Very proud of that, and congratulations. And what you are is a beacon to these young ladies that anything is possible. So, no pressure.
Okay, action items. I'd entertain a motion to approve the monthly invoices.
I'll make a motion. I reviewed them, some of the people, some of the companies I didn't know what had an address, but that they were not anything immaterial on those. So I approved the general fund account totaling $97,752.29.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed to this? Okay, motion to approve KEDC 2019-2020 Cooperative Membership Agreement.
This will also enroll us in their co-op to buy, which is KIPS. Which is about, yeah. So that's also included in this.
How much does that cost us?
It doesn't cost anything for the co-op.
$15.98.
$15.98 for the membership, and it's well worth it. I know Matt's.
That's about steady.
Yeah. I know Matt loves it. I know Paul, you use KDC quite a bit. Joe.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, motion to approve the 2020 MOA with Big Sandy Community Aid and Technical College, Paintsville Independent School.
This is the dual credit agreement that we've had for the last 7 years.
I'm sorry, second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, the athletic field service contract.
We have, in an attempt to save money in the long run, one of the things that has impacted our district is the retirement contribution, which is just, we're just going to be at 30%.
We're budgeting 30%.
Yeah. So we are starting to reach out for contracts to provide services. When someone retires, we're trying to replace those with actual service contracts. This particular service contract would save the district on salary alone $19,000. The contract's for $11,000 to mow, stripe.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that's not counting fringe. That's just salary alone.
Enough information, I'll make a motion.
Hey, Joe,
We do have some grammatical errors, Ken.
Well, just, I would make a comment in light of that. If there were a couple of things I think we needed to add, which I've discussed,
Okay.
and they are grammatical, clerical, however you want to say that. And let's see, second page, it was, it had the word bidder, and we're going to add contractor. I think that was it.
We'll correct those.
Yeah, seconds.
So on a $20,000 salary, Joe, we're at 30%, that's $6,000.
That's correct.
And we have Social Security and unemployment, that adds another probably 10%, that's $2,000. So we're looking at $8,000. How much is insurance? That's $600 a month?
Probably.
That's 72. So that's on a $20,000 salary for employees will cost us over $15,000.
That's, yeah.
So it's almost, so 75%
Yep.
of their salary will be over fringes.
What you're going to see, and we're going to come with this at next month's board meeting, we're looking at creating a new job category for part-time employees. And I think you're going to see a lot of districts. I know several districts around us, and we are entertaining proposals for janitorial service right now, contract services. So I think with in our case, I think it's going to be something you see a lot of districts like us doing the same things.
All in favor? Anybody opposed to this? Okay, motion to adjourn from regular session and enter into executive session under authority of KRS 61.815.810 to discuss acquisition or sale of property, proposed or pending litigation, personnel matter.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Hey, John, talking about changing the flat, I need to.